Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another video. I'm Mariah. Thanks for coming back if you did. Thanks for being here if you're new. If you watched my last couple videos, first of all, thank you. Second of all, they were a bit on the longer side. So today I wanted to do something a bit shorter. I kind of wanted to just sit down and talk about my camera collection. I thought that would be fun. So if you're interested in that, which if you clicked on the video, you read the title of the video, so I'm assuming that you are, then please enjoy the video. It is very early in the morning right now because this is when my brain likes to function. It's 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and I started recording this at like 6:30. So the lighting is going to change quite a bit throughout the video because the sun is just going to continue to come up. It is quite snowy outside, so we'll see how much the sun comes up. We're just going to see how this goes. I don't think I've ever started I mean, that's a lie. In my next video, you'll see that it's pretty often that I'm wide awake at this hour, if not way earlier, because I've been up for a lot longer than I've started recording. Anyway, but I thought the ambience of the lamp and the low light would be kind of cute. So anyway, let's get started. Starting off strong, we have my Mamiya C330. This camera was given to me by my grandfather. If you've watched some of my other videos, you may or may not have seen this bad boy already, but I wanted to start off with this one because it is probably my most prized possession, and my grandfather used to use it when he was a photographer. If I had to guess, it weighs about 10 pounds. This is by far my favorite film camera to shoot with. He gave it to me maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I would say, and I've shot plenty of rolls with it, to the point where part of me has considered only using this camera if I were to start doing like client work and stuff. I would only want to shoot with this. This camera shoots 120 film. It has a 105mm 3.5 fixed lens. I brought it to Alaska. I brought it to Iceland. I've brought it pretty much everywhere since I've had it. It fits perfectly in my camera bag, which seems just very meant to be. She's really heavy, but she's really worth it. Like, everything just looks better through this lens, if I'm being completely honest with you. I've shot the Mendenhall Towers with this. I've shot many things in Alaska with this. I shot some cows up the road with this once. That was really fun. I've developed my own film that I've shot with this. From there, I just took it. I've been taking it all over the world, and I will continue to do so for the rest of my life. So that is my Mamiya C330. Next up is my Nikon D5100, and this camera has also traveled with me all across the world. My dad got this for me for Christmas, probably back in 2012, 2013, I'm pretty sure. It's pretty much my first and only DSLR camera. When it comes to my cameras, I'm pretty old school. I don't have anything new whatsoever. But this is the camera that I've done most of my client work with thus far. Right now I have a 35mm 1.8 fixed lens on here, and I've been absolutely loving it. I've had that on this camera pretty much full time for the last couple of years. I have a couple other lenses for it. I have a 70 to 300mm, and then I also have the kit lens, which I'm pretty sure is an 18 to 35 or maybe an 18 to 50. All the work that I took in high school I shot with that camera, and most of the digital work that I've done this far has been shot with that camera. I'm going on 10 plus years of shooting with that camera, so she's been with me for a while. She's been very well loved. But yeah, so that's been my ride or die for the last 14 years or so. Wow, it's crazy when you put it into numbers like that. Oh my god. But those are the two that I pretty much take anywhere and everywhere, on top of whatever else fits the situation. Those are like my two, main riders. But like I said, my grandpa was a full-time photographer at one point in his life, so he had other cameras that he also gave me. So I want to talk about those next. And the first one is this Rapid Omega 100. This is probably one of the most unique cameras that I've personally ever seen and or held in my hand. Besides the Mamiya, this is what he would shoot a lot of his photos with, which is also very, very, very heavy and unfathomable how he carried this thing around all day, every day at weddings and photo shoots. I'm getting distracted because I want to play with it. It comes with this nice handle attachment, thankfully. There's also handle attachments for the Mamiya too, but I don't prefer to use them. This one, I can't imagine this camera without it. It has a 90mm 3.5 lens with a couple different screw-on lens protectors, which is nice. I haven't taken these off in quite a while. It also shoots 120 film. I've never shot with this before. I have taken the time to deep clean this, so it is probably in the best shape. There it goes. It is probably in the best shape of its life, given the circumstance. So the film slides. The film advancement mechanism is a slide system, which is super cool. And it also comes with this old school little metal plate to cover up the lens when you're changing out the film. And it works and shoots just fine. So, one day soon, I will take this bad boy out on the streets, and I'll take some pictures with it, because he doesn't know how well it's going to work either, but this is how he would just through weddings all day. So that's pretty cool. So this one is a very, very unique piece as well. I've never seen anybody else ever shoot with this through all of my research online and stuff. I mean, I've never come up, okay, correction. I've never just happened across anybody using one of these before. Not to say that there isn't any out there, but I've never come across somebody else who has this camera. So one of these days I'm going to go out and shoot this bad boy, and that'll be fun. But this is another one of Grandpa Randy's that he gave to me. So this one is super, super special. So throughout my grandpa's photography career, things obviously modernized, and he upgraded to a Nikon N80 at one point in his career. This is a 35mm film camera, and I actually really love the zoom lens on this. It's a 28 to 100mm 5.6, and I currently have a roll of Ilford HP5 in this that I've had in it for probably about a year now. I don't shoot with this camera often because it's very lightweight, which is nice, but like I said earlier, I usually bring my digital Nikon and my Mamiya. So on top of those two, I have considered bringing this as a 35mm camera option, but it's big, and sometimes I don't want another big camera around. So this one doesn't get used too often, but it is very, very, very reliable, and it's got a really nice zoom lens on it, so I should shoot it more, but I also just don't shoot 35mm like that super often. So this one hangs out in my room quite often, but it's an absolutely fantastic camera, and I do love it, and I'll have it for the rest of my life, of course. And it used to be my grandfather's, so it makes it that much more special. And it is just another Nikon in my collection. An honorable mention is my grandmother's Polaroid camera that my grandfather, he actually just recently gave this to me. He gave me this camera like only a few weeks ago. He bought this for my grandmother a few years before she died. I'm not exactly sure how often she used it, and given the weight, it actually does feel like there's film in it. But this one also just kind of sits on my shelf. I went through a phase a few years ago because at one point I just recently sold it because I have this one now, and I didn't need two Polaroid cameras, but at one point I did have my own Polaroid camera before I got this one, and I went through a phase a few years ago. If you look way back in my Instagram, you'll see them still, but I went through a phase of taking photos with Polaroid, and then taking a photo of that, and then posting that photo to Instagram or whatever. But just in this drawer right here, I have a whole collection of Polaroid pictures that I've already taken in my life, and I had an idea for a new collection that I wanted to take on Polaroid. I'm not going to spoil it because I want to make a video out of it, but I did come up with a pretty cool idea to use this camera for, so I'm excited about that. A quick little honorable mention to my grandmother's Polaroid camera. We'll stick with the Polaroid theme for now, because this one is on the same shelf with it. I got this at a thrift store years and years and years ago. This was like back in high school when I was just starting to get into photography. This is a Polaroid Automatic 100 land camera. I've never shot with it before. I looked up a couple years ago how expensive the film is for this, and it's like $100 a roll, so maybe someday, but not anytime soon. I don't have the cover for it. I've seen at other antique stores that there is a cover that's included with this. I didn't know that when I bought it, so I don't have the cover for it. I mean, which is fine because I display it like this anyway. But I mean, it's super, super clean, and I know that it works. All the mechanisms and stuff work. Maybe someday I'll shoot with it, but for now it's just a really, really cool piece that I keep on my shelf, along with about half of my other cameras that just sit on the shelf. But that is my Polaroid land camera. I only have two Polaroid cameras, and that's both of them. Moving on. So there's more. So moving on to cameras that I have shot with that nowadays mostly just sit on my shelf. And here's why. This is a really cool camera that I have taken pictures with before, which is super cool. There's actually a stamp on here that says Germany USSR. So I have no idea what the story is behind that. This is my Exacta VXIIA. But my main issue with this camera is that there's some sort of razor blade cutter thing in here where you load the film, and I was having a major issue when I shot a roll of film with this. It just absolutely chewed up my film. So I've never really figured out why that's there. Like I said before, it is very clean, and it takes really clean photos. Plus, I think it's really cool that it shoots with your left hand as opposed to your right. You use your left thumb to advance the film, and you use your left hand to shoot it. I mean, to be honest, this is mostly a shelf piece, but it does function, and it does work, and it does take really incredible photos. I'm just really afraid of the razor blade that's inside of it, and if anybody has any information on as to why that's there, please let me know, and how I can avoid it ripping up my film, because maybe I'll use it more if I have more information on it. I also have a flip-up viewfinder for it, which is pretty cool, but this one is just the look-through. It has an Ektar 50mm 2.0 lens, and it's gorgeous, and this camera is pretty sick. Got this at an antique mall when I first started shopping around for 35mm cameras. This was one of the first ones that I bought, not knowing if it worked or not. I just really liked the look of it, and then sure enough brought it home, cleaned it up, started messing around with it, and it works. So that's really cool. It's cool to know that it works, but I just don't use it very often. What I was really on the hunt for when I first started shopping around for 35mm cameras was an Olympus OM10. To be honest with you, I haven't shot with this camera in a while either, but in my search for a functioning 35mm film camera, I heard pretty decent reviews about the OM10, and I heard that it was a pretty affordable option. So instead of going with like a Nikon AE1 that I was seeing for like $100 or something, I just got the OM10 for like $40. And somehow along the way I ended up with two. This one, it's just for parts basically. This one doesn't work. It does have the cool handle attachment on it, which I could put on this one if I wanted to. You put like AA batteries in the bottom of it, and then it makes the overall battery of the camera last significantly longer. And then it's also got its own little quick shutter. It also advances the film for you, which is pretty cool, so it's a more rapid style of shooting this camera. So I have that option to put on this one. I have mixed reviews on this camera. I don't know if it's user error or if there's something wrong with the camera, but for whatever reason, I cannot get this camera to hold the settings that I set it to. I have a manual adapter on this camera. This camera has a light meter inside of it. I just try not to use it by adding this manual adapter, because the cool part about this camera is that you can buy a manual shutter speed adapter, and then you just plug it into the camera, and then you're supposed to be able to set your own shutter speed. So I do that, and then I go to take the picture, and then for whatever reason the shutter speed just does whatever it wants to do, and it'll take like a 10-second shutter, and I'm not prepared for that because I'm holding the camera. So then for 10 seconds I'm just trying to stay still because I can tell that it's still taking a photo, and then long story short, my photos all end up blurry. And I have plenty of examples of that. For whatever reason, I've just kind of had trouble with this camera. I haven't picked it up and taken it out and used it in quite a while, and honestly, I don't remember if there's even film in it. It kind of sounds like there is. And there is batteries in it. The camera works perfectly fine otherwise, but I don't know, me and her just don't really get along right now, so I haven't picked it up in quite a while, but maybe we'll revisit that someday. So those are a few of my fully manual 35mm cameras. I do have a couple 35mm point and shoots, both of which I have been very, very happy with. This one I bought for $5 at a thrift store right before I left for my trip to Iceland, and it got me through my whole trip to Iceland, and the photos that I took on it are super, super cool, and I love them so much. So I took it to Iceland, brought it home, got the photos developed, everything was fine, and day 2 in Alaska, and this thing just would not turn on. I've changed the batteries on it, I've done all the troubleshooting that I can think of, and for whatever reason I press the power button and nothing happens. It just will not turn on. It is a Minolta Superzoom. There's currently a roll of Cinestill 400 in here, but I can't get the camera on, so I either need to take this into a really, really dark room and get the film out, and then shoot the rest of the film roll in a different camera, or I need to figure out how to get this camera back on. For the first couple months of my first season in Alaska, I didn't have a 35mm point and shoot to shoot with, so I found this one on eBay. It is a Samsung Maxima Zoom 70GL. It's real small, it's real cute, it's real simple, it's real compact, and it works real well. I like this one because it's so easy to just throw into my pocket. I put a little wrist strap on it so I can do this with it. And yeah, this one got me through the rest of my first season in Alaska, this one got me through my second season in Alaska, and this one got me through up until right now. So she is the trusty steed at the moment. Mostly my daily carries are this one, my Nikon, my Mamiya, and my video camera. But this one comes with me pretty much anywhere and everywhere. And it's just a quick little twink, twink, twink. It's just a quick little point and shoot. Both of these point and shoots take 35mm film. And yeah, this one has a nice little 38 to 70mm zoom lens. But otherwise, that one's been my trusty steed for, I'll say, the last year and a half, 2 years or so. So I love that one. And maybe someday I'll get the Minolta working again. But who knows. Alright, so I only have a few left. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. We're down to our last 3. So I'm just going to bang through these ones real quick, and then we're all going to get on with our days. So next we have my Angus Super 75. I got this one at the same antique mall that I got my Exacta and both of my Olympuses at. This one shoots 120 film. It's an interesting little flip-up design with the viewfinder, and I'm almost positive that it works. I just have yet to shoot with it, because the shutter will release and it sounds like the film advancing mechanism works. So I'm pretty sure this would shoot some pretty cool looking film. It has an f8 65mm, so you can change it from f8 to f11 or to f16. I've just never gone out and shot with this yet, so I've had it for a couple years now, but it's only ever sat on my shelf. But this is a cute little camera that maybe I can make another video about someday, and I'll throw a 120 roll in here. But this one's pretty cool. So that is my Angus Super 75. This is a Nikon Coolpix 70-something Coolpix L110. picked this up at a thrift store for like $5. I thought it would be a cute little... Oh, there's a memory card in it that I didn't even realize. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. I just thought it was cool that, one, it took AA batteries, and two, that I thought this would be a cute little, like, video camera or something, like one of those lightweight little low-quality film cameras that zoom in and out or whatever, but for some reason I can't get it to work. I'll put batteries in it and it'll turn on, but then it'll just immediately turn off. Debatable on whether or not this was a waste of $5, but it was only $5, so whatever. But I have that one as well. And last but not least, I have a Brownie. It does work. Like, I don't know, the shutter goes off and everything. All the dials move. It's obvious that I can change the settings and stuff on it just fine. Everything is really, really clean on it. But it's a Brownie. It's just a good-looking camera with an absolutely rock-hard metal design. So this one I just keep on my shelf. I think that's all of them. And then last but not least, I have my Canon M50. Most of my more recent videos have been shot with this camera, so she comes with me pretty much everywhere I go, and I love her to death. My mom just recently got me a new lens for it, so you're seeing me on my 11 to 22 millimeter something lens. I don't remember what it is right now because I'm looking at it, but yeah, can't forget about, you know, my little baby over there. So that is my collection of 14 different cameras in my collection right now as of February 2026. So thanks for listening to me chat about that for a while. It was fun to reflect and just think individually about each and every single piece that I have in my collection, and to hold them all and play with them for a while and just appreciate them for what they are. So if you have any interest on a more in-depth video on any of these cameras in particular, feel free to let me know in the comments. And yeah. So those are my cameras. Also, shout out to Jungle Keepers for keeping the Amazon rainforest in one piece as much as they possibly can. I'll talk more about that in my next video, but look them up. You won't regret it. Okay, bye. See you later.